Hi everybody and welcome to another video, this one titled Skip Up the Volcano. Yes, I did it. I did the jumping puzzle in Ember Bay and what a bitch it was. Oh my god, it was so difficult. I fell so many times, so I do apologise in advance if this video is very choppy. That's because I fell no end of times and had to have my guildie teleport me back up. Word of advice for this jumping puzzle: take a Mesmer with you. Okay, so we start out here at Castaway Circus Waypoint, which is on the western side of Ember Bay. From there you can either run north into the Mursaat area, or you can use the pew pew pods to get you there a lot quicker. From there find your way to the vista. I should have mentioned before that you will need to glide for this jumping puzzle. It is impossible to do it without gliding unless you have a Mesmer to do all the gliding for you. So you glide down into an area and there's the tiniest little cave entrance that is hardly noticeable, which you enter into, and once you are in there you are at the very start of the jumping puzzle. Now this is kind of where all the fun begins, because you will need to run through lava. You'll get like 20 stacks of burning, so condition removal is something that you would probably take with you. There will be enemies attacking you all the way through the jumping puzzle, including a veteran at the end, which is a red ooze, which is always fun, as well as some geysers, some like fire geysers that whoosh up, and if they hit you while you're gliding they will knock you clean out of the sky, sending you plummeting to your death. Fabulous. The good part about this jumping puzzle is that it's not all bad. There are checkpoints along the way. The bad part is that you have to activate them all, so you need to go through them systematically one by one, so you can't just get a Mesmer to portal you straight to the end. If that is the case, and that happens, the chest will not open for you. Later on in the video, Legolution actually explains that if you do half of the jumping puzzle one day and then come back and try to do it the next day, you can't get the checkpoints you got the previous day, and when you get to the end, the chest does not open. This is currently a bug, bearing in mind that the patch was released yesterday at this point, so I'm pretty sure ArenaNet are going to fix that bug PDQ. That's pretty damn quick. So worry not, probably not even worth mentioning that, as by the time you guys come to do it, it won't actually even be a thing. But anyway, back onto the topic of the checkpoints. Obviously, if you do fall and die, you can start again from a checkpoint, so you don't have to start all the way from the beginning. So, big kudos for ArenaNet adding that in. Now in the video behind the scenes, Josh Foreman actually mentioned this exact jumping puzzle and what he does within ArenaNet, and I just thought it'd be quite interesting to put that inside this video. So we're going to watch that clip from him now, explaining about this jumping puzzle and why he decided to make it so goddamn hard.
We usually put the jumping puzzles in last, so I kind of had this spot reserved for it, and I started building it, and contrary to popular belief, I actually don't like making difficult jumping puzzles, but the aesthetic really demanded a just brutal jumping puzzle. So there's several vectors along which we can make a jumping puzzle challenging. The obvious one is the distance, you know, how far you got to jump, how difficult those jumps are. But then in additional to that, it's discovery. It's finding where do I actually jump. And then on top of that, you can have the skills that you have to use, the enemies that may be around and all that kind of stuff. So we really cranked up the sliders on almost all of those. So it ended up earning its name of Chalice of Tears.
So there you go, the jumping puzzle is actually called Chalice of Tears, yet the achievement is called Skipping Up the Volcano. What relevance that holds? I don't know. But let's discuss for a second that he said he doesn't like making difficult jumping puzzles. which I can kind of appreciate. After all, he does want people to actually be able to do them. Now, I do know that Josh actually made the Mad King's Clock Tower for the Halloween event, which, when it came out, was the most horrifically horrendous, devastating jumping puzzle there was out there. You have like this, I mean, you'll all see during Halloween coming up soon, but there's this gloop following you up, so you're gonna hit it if you don't move quickly, and you're jumping across little fragments of the clock tower. Absolutely fantastic design, and I think Josh has to be commended for this jumping puzzle because it is exactly what he said it was going to be. It is difficult. There are a lot of little footholds throughout the jumping puzzle that you have to land on. It's a lot of precise places that you have to land, otherwise down you go. So he has to be commended on this jumping puzzle, even though a lot of people are going to QQ about it. They are going to rage and say it's impossible, or just pure and simple give up, whether that's before or after they start raging about it. Overall though, with a Mesmer on your side, quoting from the legendary Marjorie here, the Mesmers are very annoying when they're against you, but handy when they're on your side. Being a Mesmer or taking a Mesmer means that you can drop a portal before you do a difficult jump, which means if you fail it, you can always just portal straight back, kind of making the checkpoints redundant as such. But if there's not a Mesmer in the area, then obviously they're quite handy. I get the feeling that this jumping puzzle is going to end up quite like Not So Secret, as in people just won't want to do it. One thing that I think ArenaNet have still got to grasp the concept of is risk versus reward, and not so much RNG when it comes to jumping puzzle chests. The more difficult the jumping puzzle, the greater the reward should potentially be. That may be the case, but for veteran players, getting a rare item drop from a chest is not what they would class as good loot or good risk versus reward. An exotic drop is, you know, a bit of a, ooh, that's nice. So perhaps, you know, a guaranteed exotic from these more difficult jumping puzzles would be more preferable, and by extension, worth actually doing the jumping puzzle. Now, there's the age-old argument that people will farm it, but hey, you know what, if they're willing to put in the time and effort to farm it, then why not? A perfect run of this jumping puzzle would take around 10 to 15 minutes to actually complete. That's providing you don't fall at all, you don't make any errors, you literally go from start to finish perfectly. But the chances of that actually happening are kinda slim, let's be fair. So there you go, we've just passed checkpoint 4, which is the last checkpoint that you have to go to on your travel through this jumping puzzle. From here on out, it actually gets a lot easier. The only thing you'll struggle with, potentially, is the fact that you can't actually see where to go next. You kind of just stood on this big pillar out in the middle of nowhere. Well, what you have to do is glide to the other side of the volcano. So it does mix things up a bit by making you kind of do that leap of faith, which is absolutely fantastic. I love that. And if it wasn't for Legillusion showing me the way, I would have had no idea. In fact, to be fair, I probably wouldn't have made it this far. There was one question that I did have to ask at the end of this jumping puzzle, and that is, are there any diving goggles? Well, I can tell you that there are no diving goggles on this map at all. There has not been a diving challenge added onto this map, which I was a little bit disappointed with. Going from previous new maps, usually when a big jumping puzzle like this has been added in, they will put in some diving goggles at the end, much like Not So Secret, which when you put them on and you try and do the dive, you will fail it and want to just end your life right there because you've just made it to the top, put the goggles on, and then you die halfway down and have to go all the way back to the top again. It's kind of annoying, but at the same time, it is so rewarding when you actually finish that diving challenge. So I do hope that ArenaNet will add in a goggle challenge to it later, maybe in one of these ninja fixes that they do every now and then. But something that you should know on your way through is that there are Mursaat tokens, which is part of a collection on Ember Bay. They are scattered all over the place, as well as other things like that, like collections as Mursaat tomes of knowledge or something like that. So they are scattered all over the map, and there are about 2 or 3, I do believe, don't quote me on that, but I do believe inside the jumping puzzle. The one after the first checkpoint I did point out to you with a text annotation during the video, so I hope you didn't miss that one. And the other one, once you get to the chest at the very end, you can glide off and it's towards the circus down below. It's always worth mentioning things like that purely because there's nothing worse than doing the jumping puzzle, then finding, oh, one of the coins is in there, so I've got to go and do that whole jumping puzzle all over again. FML. So here we are now on the last leg of the jumping puzzle. Now for those of you who haven't got double tap to dodge roll disabled, I would strongly suggest that you do have it switched off, because you'll be doing a lot of double tapping at this point. It's a very fine line to walk, and you walk up to this bit where you'll find the veteran ooze. I hope you're strong enough to take it on. You should be. Might be a bit more difficult for melee players, but you know, take it out at your leisure, and then you will have the chest, which doesn't really hold much good stuff. And that is it. You'll get the achievement with 10 sweet achievement points, and you'll also get a mastery point just in case you haven't unlocked all of your masteries yet. That's 1 extra point to put towards that, which will hopefully help you out. If you're anything like me, then it's just 1 to add to the stockpile that you've got. And as you can see, the loot isn't that great. But I would just like to take this time now to say a huge thank you to Legillusion for helping me out in this video during this jumping puzzle. He tried to do a lot of typing to kind of explain, which I kind of cut most of that because he would type and explain and then I would fall. So, but I cannot thank you enough for supporting me. Throughout the jumping puzzle, I've had loads of my guild members saying, oh look, there's Coops. Oh, he's probably recording. So at least I know that some people are actually watching my videos, or at least acknowledge that I do YouTube, which is always nice. So all that is left to say is thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this video has helped you out with the jumping puzzle, at least a little bit. I'm sorry once again that it was very choppy here, there and everywhere. As I say, I did fall quite a lot and I did need a lot of teleporting around. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of videos coming out within a short space of time. I'm still yet to discuss the story so far and my prediction of what is going to be coming next. So be sure to subscribe so you get notifications for when those videos pop up, and you can be the first to leave a comment saying, Coops, you're chatting crap, as per usual. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.